Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, fundamental shift that's happening right now in the world of artificial intelligence, the move to local AI. We're going to look at how the rules of computing have literally just been rewritten. And more importantly, we'll dive into how you can actually monetize the hardware that might already be sitting right there on your desk.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're hitting 1, the zero-token revolution. 2, how portable computer works. 3, debunking the income myth. 4, 3 rungs to GPU income. And finally, 5, choosing your AI infrastructure. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the zero-token revolution. To really grasp this, we need to talk about a quiet but absolutely historic event that just went down on August 25, 2026. On that day, Perplexity, working alongside Nvidia, dropped something called Portable Computer. Now, this isn't just some basic local UI slapped onto a cloud brain, right? It is a full, agentic workflow platform living entirely on your own GPU. We're talking the AI model, the agent, your files, the actual work, the whole shebang runs locally on your hardware. And here is the absolute game changer. I mean, a literal game changer. Work completed locally consumes 0 billing credits. They have effectively killed the token meter for your everyday AI work. Every single time you want to parse a huge PDF, run a shell command, or maybe organize your Google Drive, you are no longer watching a monthly bill creep upward. It's totally free.
Moving to Section 2, how portable computer works. You might be wondering, how is this actually happening under the hood?
Well, let's look at how this fundamentally shatters our reliance on the cloud. On the left side here, we've got the old way, right? The cloud agent model. Your laptop sent every single request out to a server somewhere. You paid for tokens every step of the way, and that monthly bill just kept growing. But with portable computer on the right, the architecture is local first. It recognizes that local 27 billion parameter class models are now genuinely good enough for about 90% of your routine agent work. Drafting, data analysis, summarizing, all of that. That 90%, it just went free. You are literally just paying for the electricity to run your RTX GPU. Now, the frontier intelligence, the massive context windows, those still live in the cloud. But the system now treats the cloud like a toll road, just for the absolute hardest 10% of tasks. And, crucially, it explicitly asks your permission before sending anything there.
Which brings us to Section 3, debunking the income myth. Because before we actually get into making money, we absolutely have to clear the air on a massive misconception that's spreading online like wildfire right now.
Let me save you from the YouTube grifters right here and now. Portable computer does not pay you a cent. Read that again. It doesn't pay you. The crucial point here is that Perplexity is not renting your GPU, and there is absolutely no magic install this one app and get paid scheme. If someone pitches you that, run. It's a scam. Portable computer saves you money by killing token costs, sure, but the true ways to earn money with your hardware are completely separate. They're older, and yeah, they require actual strategy and work.
So let's talk about that work in Section 4, 3 rungs to GPU income. Let's get into the real, grounded ways you can generate income by treating your GPU kind of like a spare room that you rent out to the world.
You might be totally shocked to learn that the exact same piece of hardware, specifically an RTX 4090 graphics card, can earn a pretty pathetic $1.50 a month or a really solid $270 a month. Think about that. That is an insane variance for the exact same silicon just sitting in a PC case.
Let's look at exactly why that is. Pulling from real 2026 operator reports on Vast.io, which, if you don't know, is essentially the Airbnb for graphics cards, you can see a verified RTX 5090 pulling at about $270 a month and verified 4090s making around $180 a month. A really well-run, high-utilization 4090 can even gross anywhere from $400 to $900. But look all the way over to the other end of the spectrum. An unverified RTX 4090 makes about $1.50 a month. The difference between those two numbers? It's simply having a verification badge and maintaining near 100% uptime. That's it. Verification and uptime are the entire game here. If your machine is constantly going offline, you're going to make pennies.
To actually reach those higher earnings safely without losing your mind, you shouldn't just jump straight into the deep end. Instead, you need to climb a strict, sequential beginner ladder. Step 1, salad. Step 2, a vast AI host. And step 3, selling services.
Let's see how this builds rung by rung. Rung 1 is Salad. This is a Windows desktop app originally built for gamers. It literally takes about 30 minutes to set up on a PC you already own. Now, it's the lowest pay, for sure, but it requires 0 effort. It just earns whenever you aren't actively gaming. And it lets you log your electricity used versus the balance you earned.
just to see if the margin is actually worth it for your specific local power rates. Once you're comfortable with that, you graduate to rung 2, becoming a Vast.ai host. This requires a dedicated Ubuntu Linux box with 24 gigabytes of VRAM, you chase that verification badge, you maintain that near 100% uptime, and you start grossing maybe $6 to $9 a day. Finally, we hit rung 3, and this is where the real prize is, selling services. Instead of just renting out raw compute for like 40 cents an hour, use your free local AI agents to do paid client work. We're talking bulk document summarization, SEO drafts, data cleaning. An hour of your GPU's time sold as a finished service is worth 10 to 50 times what that same hour is worth if you just sold it as raw compute.
Okay, rounding out with Section 5, choosing your AI infrastructure. Because to execute this playbook effectively, especially rungs 2 and 3, you need the right setup. Not all hardware is created equal for this task.
If you're buying a home rig right now, hitting that magic number of 24 gigabytes of VRAM is absolutely critical. Why? Well, because it qualifies you for the top rented tiers on these marketplaces, and it meets the bare minimum requirements to run Perplexity's portable computer locally. The sweet spot here is a used RTX 3090 paired with 32 gigs of RAM, and you can scale that all the way up to a monster RTX 5090 with 128 gigs of RAM if you're really looking to maximize your setup. You'll also need a rock-solid power supply and a wired Ethernet connection. Seriously, never use Wi-Fi for hosting. It will completely ruin your uptime.
It's also super vital to understand the role of your different hardware. Your home rig, that's your earner. It costs about $45 a month in electricity, you can list it on marketplaces, and it runs portable computer natively. Now, looking at the middle option, a rented Hetzner server with a massive 96 gigabyte GPU setup, that is strictly for hosting client SaaS businesses. Never, ever rent a Hetzner server just to re-rent it on Vast.ai. You will lose money, guaranteed. Finally, on the right, we have your MacBook. Straight talk here. Apple Silicon is not currently supported for portable computer, and you definitely can't rent it out on these Nvidia-focused marketplaces. Your MacBook is simply your control tower. Use it to SSH into your Linux rigs, monitor your web dashboards, and basically build the services you sell.
As we wrap up this explainer, the bottom line is super clear. The routine 90% of AI work is rapidly moving onto hardware you own. The rules of AI compute have fundamentally changed. So knowing that the token meter is effectively dying for your daily tasks, you have to ask yourself a question. Will your GPU just remain a slot machine relying on unpredictable marketplace rentals, or will you take action, climb that ladder, and turn it into a high-margin factory? The hardware is sitting right in front of you. The choice of how to use it, well, that's entirely up to you.